Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are all of you? Alhamdulillah. Today, inshallah, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little quick recap of lesson 5. So please get out your notebooks and everything, and we'll start with the dua now. So please get out your notebooks, exercises, everything like that. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين. Okay, so what we're going to do first is, because we already covered all of the sentences in lesson 5, we're going to do a really quick recap just to begin. And there's something that I wanted to explain more clearly, and we'll take a whole new whiteboard. So please get out, a paper to write this notes on, or something that you can get out later and study from this. So this is going to be a very, very quick recap on all of the verbs that we learned. So we're going to do a little quick recap on all of the verbs, all of the rules that we have to remember with them, and the pronouns that go with them. So we're going to make a nice big chart. And what we're going to do is we want to think about those two things that are always in those verbs. And what are those two things? Those two things are, right, they're the verb, so they're the action that you're doing, and then they're the doer. So remember, we have to have those two things in our verb. So we're going to make a chart, and we'll organize it first with the pronoun that we're going to use for the verb, and then maybe we can write the verb over here, and then we'll write okay, we'll see inshallah what our next column is going to be. So for now, let's start with all of the different pronouns you can think of that we can use to make a verb. So what are the different pronouns that we've learned so far? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we can get in this list. So there's going to be 5 different pronouns that we learned. So one of them, right, let's start with the first one we learned. The first one we'll write is huwa. And you guys know huwa, right? Huwa is the first one that we learned. Huwa is that the easiest one, right? Maybe it's the easiest one. It's that he, male, right? So he, male. So whenever we're going to be talking about someone who's not in front of us, someone who's not us, that's he. So we have to remember it's also male. And what is the verb that we use whenever we want to say he did something? Whenever we want our pronoun in the verb to be he. So let's choose a verb. Let's choose he went. Let's choose those going words, because we've been using those a lot. So what is the verb that we would use for huwa? What's the verb? The verb is, just the simple one is dhahaba. It's dhahaba. Exactly. It's going to be that simple 3-letter. Everything is, the base, the root of it. Dhahaba. He went. So that's he went. And whenever we see he went, I'm going to ask you something. This is something that we learned maybe in the last lesson. Where does the doer go? Let's say I wanted to say who the doer was. I didn't want to, leave it up for the other person to think about what it was. Where would I put the doer? Let's say I wanted to say Salman did. Salman went to the store or something. Where would I put Salman in the sentence? I would put him after the verb. Right? Dhahaba Salman. I would put him after. I would say the verb and then I would put the doer. But let's say I didn't want to say him. Let's say I didn't want to use any kind of name after the verb. How do we know who's doing it? It's hidden inside. So I'm going to do, some notes on the side. It's hidden. There's a hidden pronoun inside this one. And that is the hidden pronoun. It's the huwa one. And we know it's always going to be huwa because, there's nothing on it. It's just the base, right? There's no female ta. There's no nothing like that. It's just huwa. So we know that there's a hidden pronoun inside. Okay, so that one's done. Let's look at the next one. What should I write after huwa? What should my next column be? Give me some pronoun that I should start with. Let's talk about hiya next. Because hiya is kind of like what? Hiya is similar to huwa, but it's what? What's the difference between huwa and hiya? The difference is that it's female. So this time we're going to be thinking about someone who's not in front of us, but she's female. So Zainab or Amina, they always use those names, right? So what's the difference now? When we want to talk about some pronoun hiya, when you want to talk about Jaza, or you want to talk about Fatima, how are we going to talk about them? What verb are we going to use for them? The same sort of action. We want to keep the action to be going. This time we're going to use the verb dhahabat. Exactly. So dhahabat is going to be our verb this time. Dhahabat. So this time all we had to do to change it from huwa to hiya, this time all the verb that changed was this open ta at the end. So this open ta at the end is that female ta. That's the open one. So remember, it's not a ta marbuta, it's an open ta. It's got, you know, there's no belly in it. There's no little circle. So this one also, we have a hidden pronoun, right? There was nothing that, you know, we added or anything like that. But we just knew it had to be hiya, right? It was implied inside. It was understood. Why? Because we have to have a pronoun in our verb. So we knew this time that it was female. It was female hiya. So that one's all good. Now we have dhahaba, we have dhahabat. Our next one, what should our next one be? Huwa, hiya. Our next one, let's make that anta. What is anta? When do you use anta? What is anta? Anta is, there's a couple things you can say for this one. Anta is, number one, it's male, right? We see that ta, anta, it's male. Number two, it's for the person that we're talking to. Yeah, it's the person that's right in front of us. So when we want to talk to someone, we're going to say, how are you? What are you doing? What's up with you? Right? Those are all the people that are right in front of you. You're talking to them. So this is anta. This is you. When we talk about a verb for anta, what does that look like? This was from lesson 5. So this is the new stuff. Anta, what kind of verb are we going to use for this kind of pronoun? We're going to use, so we know we're going to have our dhahaba. We're going to use dhahabta. Dhahabta. Dhahabta is our verb for anta. So whenever we want to talk about someone in front of us who's male, right? Remember that big male? Dhahabta. And what's with this dhahabta? This one has a pronoun that we just added on the side. So this one is kind of an added in attached pronoun. So now we know, because we added that attached pronoun, that ta, is you. That's you, male. That's that second person, anta. So you guys can remember that, right? Anta, we're just going to add that ta to the end of the verb. So you're going to see that dhahabta. And now it's going to change, right? For all of the next ones that I'm going to write anti, I'm going to write ana. That attached pronoun is kind of going to change, right? It's going to go from dhahabta to dhahab something else and to dhahab something else. So that is at the end, it's open. That's what we're going to attach to the end. We're going to attach different things to the end. So this is just like what we were doing with ka, with ki, with ya. They're all those things that we attach to the end. So now we know it's anta, dhahabta. What's our next one? And tell me what's the difference this time in the pronoun, in the verb. What's the difference between anta and anti? This time it's, you guys can tell me, yeah, one, there's a kasra, right? And two, the obvious one is that it's female, right? It's not anta anymore, it's anti. And the big difference, there's a kasra now. That's how we know. It's female, anti. We know that from book 1. Anti is female because of that kasra. We see that kasra there. This time our verb, what changes again, right? Just like the one before, it's going to be dhahab. But this time, instead of a ta that we attached at the end, we're going to attach a ti. Just like before, just like anta, anti, dhahabta, dhahabti. So this is our attached pronoun that's telling us what? It's telling us the doer. Attached pronoun. So all of those things that we were adding at the end, that tells us what the doer is. The action is all the same, right? Dhahaba, dhahabat, dhahabta, dhahabti. You guys can say it a couple times to yourself. They all sound kind of the same because they're the same action, but our pronouns are always different. Okay, last one. You guys fill in the whole entire last column yourselves. I think you guys can do it. Tell me what to write first, and I'm just going to write whatever you guys think. So you guys go ahead, take 10 seconds to write as much as you can for the last column, and then we'll see what we can get. So write your pronoun. What's the missing pronoun? What's the last verb that I should write? And then circle what the attached pronoun is going to be. So the habda to the habdi, and now there's going to be something else. So circle that part. Okay. So hopefully you guys are almost done. So we'll start with the pronoun. And all of you guys should have this pronoun. Why? Because it's the most important one to us, right? We always want to talk about ourselves. Ana, right? We always want to use I did this, I did that. We always want to do that. So ana is our last pronoun. Ana is I. So that's for anyone, right? Can we use this for male and female? Can everyone use this? Everyone in this class use this for themselves? Yes. Just like with ana. Just like with ya pronoun. The attached pronoun like beiti, sayyarati. Anyone can use those. So anyone can use the verb too. So what's our verb? What did you guys all write for that verb? We wrote, and I'll write the beginning for you because the beginning is going to be the same for everything. But this time it's dhahab. And you guys added an open ta with a dhamma. Good. Dhahabtu. You all added that tu at the end. So this tu is the thing telling you it's attached for my. For like the I action. So for yourself. So you are the doer this time. So I went somewhere. Instead of she went, he went. So those are all the verbs that you guys have to know. So keep that in a notebook. Keep that safe so you guys can study from. Those are all the pronouns, all the verbs we've learned so far. MashaAllah, we've learned 5. So now you can talk about 5 different people, including yourself. So that's all we have to know. Number 1, there's all the same actions, right? Oh, the doer is changing. So when the doer changes, our verb looks kind of different each time. We either have to attach a pronoun or there's a hidden pronoun inside. So the first two have hidden. And then the last 3, the habda, the habdi, the habdu, those have those attached open das with the vowel, fatha, dhamma, or kasra at the end, depending on what the doer is, right? So is that clear with everyone? Take a moment to look at it, absorb it. If everything is clear, what we're going to do is we're going to see how it looks in the exercises. So I'm going to flip to the book now. So open up your books and we will look at exercise number 1. Okay. So let's see here. So in this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to look and read the sentences. And we're going to read the sentences and we're going to figure out what they mean. And inshallah, what we'll do is we're going to circle the verbs. We're going to circle the verbs and figure out what their doers are and everything like that. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Here we go. أذهبت إلى المسجد اليوم يا إسماعيل. So the first one's a question, and what does it mean? What is the thing I should circle? What's the verb I should circle? What's the question mean? أذهبت إلى المسجد اليوم. The question is, you guys know this one. This one is just like the ones in the lesson. It's did you أذهبت? Did you go إلى المسجد, to the masjid? Al-yoma. Al-yoma is that new word, right? What is al-yoma? MashaAllah, you guys know this. It means today. So did you go to the masjid today? Ya Ismail. What do we call Ismail in the sentence? Who is Ismail? Ismail is the... What are you doing to him? You are calling him, so he is called the munada. Good. I know I'm keep on bringing this up, but I want you guys to remember this word. Munada, right? This is the person that we're calling. So this is the person we're talking to. So أذهبت إلى المسجد اليوم يا إسماعيل. What pronoun should I circle in the sentence? If I was going to circle something, let's first circle the pronoun, just like how we used to before. What am I going to circle? Is it in ذهبت إلى المسجد اليوم يا إسماعيل? What should I circle? I'm going to circle the open ta. I'm going to circle this open ta. Why am I going to circle it? Because it's replacing, who is it replacing? It's replacing you, it's replacing Ismail. So, أذهبت إلى المسجد اليوم يا إسماعيل? Did you go? So this is the you part. This is the doer part. This is telling us that أذهبت, the doer is you. We just had to attach that ta with the fatha. Okay, so that one was easy. I think this one was easy enough. We don't have to. Let's go over one more thing with it. And this is a rule, and I know you guys know this, but ilal masjidi, why do we have the kasra? Just really quickly, why do we have the kasra? Because of what? It's not because of female, it's not because of anything like that, it's because of ila. So just keep that in mind, right? It's because of the ila. Okay, so number one, did you go to the masjid today, ya Ismail? Our next one. Our next question is going to be slightly different, and you guys tell me what's the big difference in this question. Mata dhahabti ila tabibati ya Amina? What's the big difference in this sentence? Mata dhahabti ila tabibati? What's the big difference? The big difference is that we're talking to a female this time. Exactly, we're talking to a female. We're talking to Amina. So, mata dhahabti. This time it's a different question. It's a slightly different type of question. What does this mean? Do you guys remember what mata is? Mata is when. So, mata dhahabti. When did? What is this part? Yeah, mashallah, you guys know. When did you go to the doctor? How come it's different this time? Tell me what told you that it's different? In English it sounds the same to me. You go, right? It sounds the same with dhahabta. It sounds the same as anything. Dhahabta, dhahabti, they sound the same in English. The difference is the female, right? It's the female. Dhahabti. This time I'm going to circle this ta with a kasra. You, female. Just like anti is different from anta, just like ka is different from ki. So this time dhahabti is our pronoun. That's our doer. And who is our doer? What is this ti replacing? Who is this ti replacing? It's replacing, because remember pronouns always replace something. It's replacing Amina. So ya Aminatu. This is our doer, Amina. So she's the one who's going to the doctor. So when did you go to the doctor? Oh, Amina. Okay, another quick question. How did we know that the verb was female? What was our sign that dhahabti was female? How did we know? What did you guys think? What was the big sign in Arabic that you saw that dhahabti was female? That it was talking about Amina? It was this ti at the end, right? It was the ti, because the ti is female. Our doer is female. We have a kasra. So it's ti. It's female. And it's on an open ta. But why is at-tabibati female? Why is this person female? Why is this noun female? At-tabibati, ila-tabibati. How do I know that this doctor is female? The sign is the ta marbuta. This time it's the ta marbuta. So don't forget those ta marbutas, those round tas. Those are important because they tell us if a noun is female. So at-tabibati is female, a female doctor. Okay, let's look at our next question. Aina dhahabti amsi ya binti? Aina dhahabti amsi ya binti? Small question. And again, we have a different kind of question and a different doer. So you guys tell me, what does this mean? Aina dhahabti amsi ya binti? This is easy, right? All of this translation. Aina is, again, a where question. We know where questions really easily now. Dhahabti, same as before. You went. Amsi, do you guys remember what amsi is? It's one of those time words that we were learning when we were learning mata. Amsi is yesterday. So just like al-yawma is today, amsi is yesterday. So where did you go yesterday? Oh, binti? My daughter. Yes, my daughter. That's a tricky one, right? This is something that we have to remember though. Binti, my daughter. Okay, in this one, I want you guys to circle all the pronouns you see. All the pronouns you see. And tell me how many there are. I want to see how many you guys can count up. Aina dhahabti amsi ya binti? Tell me a count. How many things did you circle in the sentence? The correct answer is 2. Let's go. Aina dhahabti? Good. Dhahabti, one, circle the ti, right? The ti is telling you that your doer is anti, that your doer is a girl, you, the person we're talking to. And the second pronoun, don't forget about this one. I know we did this a long, long time ago, right? When we were doing attached pronouns on the verbs, or on the nouns, on those things like house or cat or anything like that, those attached pronouns, this ya, binti. And what is the ya telling you? It's who has that daughter? It's me, right? My daughter. It's yourself. So that's replacing yourself. What is the ti replacing? The ti is replacing the daughter. Exactly. So keep that in mind. Who is replacing who? Aina dhahabti amsi ya binti? Where did you go yesterday, my daughter? Okay, simple now, right? These are getting easier and easier. All we have to do is figure out who the doer is, what the pronouns are, and then the rest is easy. You guys know what everything means. So number 4, Ya Hishamu. Aina dhahabta anta? Wa aina dhahaba akhuka? Ya Hishamu, aina dhahabta anta? Wa aina dhahaba akhuka? 2 questions in one, right? This time we have a compound question, just like how we used to have 2 sentences in one. So, Ya Hishamu, oh Hisham, oh Hisham. And we know that I'm going to ask, what is Hisham in the sentence? He's the munada. Good, so keep that in mind. We're talking to a boy. We're talking to a male. Aina dhahabta anta? Aina dhahabta anta? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Okay, my question is, I think a lot of you guys are wondering, it looks like dhahabta has a pronoun right on it, right? Dhahabta, we know it's going to be you male, because it's that ta at the end. We know that the action is going, and we know that it's you because we have the ta at the end. We attach the ta. Why do I have anta then? Remember how I said that you don't need someone, you don't need a doer after your verb because it's already there. It's either hidden inside or it's attached. So why is it there? Did I really have to repeat you twice? Why do you think it would be there? Aina dhahabta anta. Maybe it's there because, maybe it's there just to emphasize it. And emphasize means that you want to say it very, very clearly. You want to say, where did you go? Not just anyone, where did you go? So you repeat it. Where did you go? You really, really stress it. You want to know where Hisham went. So that's why maybe you said clearly, you said the doer right after. Anta is that doer. And remember, it always comes after the verb. It comes after the verb. So where did you go? So you say it very clearly, because then you're gonna ask about someone else. So this time you're going to ask about wa aina dhahaba akhuka? You're asking about your brother. And who's, let's look at this. Wa aina dhahaba akhuka? And where did your brother go? Where did your brother? I'm going to underline this. Your brother go. So first we had where did you go, and next we have where did your brother go. Okay, again, what other pronouns should I circle in this sentence? I already circled the ta for you, but what else should I circle? Let's see, what else should I circle? Let's see, all I'm going to end up circling is the ka. Your brother. So don't forget about those attached pronouns that we learned for nouns. Akhuka, your brother. Why didn't I circle anything in dhahaba? Before I was circling the ta, I was circling the ti, I was circling the, again, all those ta and tis at the end of the verbs. How come I didn't circle anything in dhahaba? Because it's hidden inside. It's hidden. Exactly, it's hidden. It's he. We know that there's a huwa hidden inside this dhahaba. There's nothing, there's no clear sign, there's no present sign there, but we know it's inside. We know it's implied inside. And who is the he replacing? This should be easy. Who is the he replacing? It's replacing your brother. Exactly. It's replacing Hisham's brother. Because the your replaces Hisham then. So lots of people are replacing everyone. But we know what it means. We understand, right? Where did your brother go? Where did Hisham's brother go? Okay. That one was long. That one was... But it's good. Mashallah, you guys understand it. Let's look at the next one. Ya Maryamu, aina dhahabti anti, wa aina dhahabat ukhtuki. Ya Maryamu, aina dhahabti anti, wa aina dhahabat ukhtuki. It's very similar to the last sentence, isn't it? It's almost the same exact thing. But the big difference is female. Good. This one, all the people are female in this one. So look, it even sounds different, but it's almost the same. So let's see. Ya Maryam, oh Maryam. So this time we're talking to a girl. Our munada is Maryam. Aina dhahabti anti. Easy. Mashallah, you guys know this. Where did you go? It's the same as before, but it's all female. So remember, we have to have matching females. Our doer is female, our verb has to have a doer female. So dhahabti, attached a ti at the end because we want to show this is you for female. Our doer is you this time. And again, we repeated anti. We made it very clear we're talking to Maryam. Where did you go? So again, anti is female because we're talking to Maryam. It's replacing Maryam. Wa aina dhahabat ukhtuki. Wa aina dhahabat ukhtuki. Same thing, right? And where did your sister go? And where did your sister go? So same thing. This time it's just a girl that we're talking about. Not a brother, we're talking about a sister. Okay, so then again, we're going to have to look at the same things. Dhahabat. What is dhahabat? Dhahabat is she went. Instead of he went, it's she went. Should I put parentheses around my she? Or should I circle something? What should I do? Should I put parentheses around it like I did before to show that it's implied? Yes or no? Yes. So the two ones that have hidden ones that are just implied in there are he and she. Dhahaba and dhahabat. There was no thing that we're attaching at the end like ta or ti or tu. So dhahabat is she went. We hid it inside. And we have a female open ta at the end. That's all we have. There's no attached thing at the end, except for that open ta. So that open ta is telling us that it's she, that it's female. But it's still hidden inside. So what did we do? We wanted to be very clear about our doer. So what did we do? We said ukhtuki. Our doer is ukhtuki. Your sister. Where did your sister go? And what's the pronoun in ukhtuki? It's the attached pronoun ki, just like before. And who is it replacing? What is this ki replacing? It's replacing Maryam. Good. It's replacing Maryam. Okay. Long sentence, but let's look at the last question in this exercise. أذهبتِ إلى المدرسة اليوم يا فاطمة? أذهبتِ إلى المدرسة اليوم يا فاطمة? What is this question like? You guys tell me, what was the parallel question? What was the similar question in this exercise that I'm going to compare it to? I'm going to compare this one to which number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just like number 1. Good. It's just like number 1. The only difference is that it's female for number 1. So look at number 1 and let's look at some of the differences. أذهبتِ إلى المدرسة اليوم يا فاطمة? This time our munada is Fatima. This time our munada is Fatima. It's not Ismail, it's Fatima. أذهبتِ إلى المدرسة اليوم? Same question. Did you go to the madrasa? Did you go to the school today? Oh, Fatima? This time the only difference is the pronoun that we attached at the end of the verb. This ti at the end, the kasra. So أذهبتِ, did you go? So this time the only difference was that pronoun that we were going to attach at the end of the verb. That's the only difference. That made our whole entire sentence female. Did you go to the school today? Okay, that was a lot, mashallah. Lots and lots of questions that we answered. And so what we're going to do then, I hope that's all clear. I circled most of the pronouns up there. But you guys circle any if I didn't circle them clearly. But that is it for exercise 1. Okay, I'm going to explain the directions for exercise 3 because you guys will be able to do this yourself. Exercise 3 is correct the sentences, and you guys have done this in all of the other lessons too. Oh, okay. We'll actually do exercise 2 instead. We'll do exercise 2. Exercise 2 is very similar to exercise. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to exercise number 2. Exercise number 2 is very, very similar to what we were doing before with exercise 1. So we're going to look through the sentences, and a lot of the sentences are the same. So I'll choose a few, and we'll cover all of the things that we need to. We're going to look at the verbs especially. So I want you guys to pay attention to those. Okay, so I'll mark the ones that we're going to do, and the other ones are really, really similar to those. So these are like the different ones. So we'll go through all of them, and inshallah you guys won't have a problem doing the rest yourselves. So let's look at the first one. ذهب أبي إلى السودان وذهب أخي إلى العراق. So there's 2 sentences here. And what you guys might notice in them is that there's a little earth next to a couple of the words. So we'll read what they are, and inshallah, I think you guys can figure out what they are. So we'll look at the first one. ذهب أبي إلى السودان. What do you guys think that means? ذهب أبي إلى السودان. Tell me as much as you know, even if you don't know that new word. You guys know ذهب أبي. That means my father went. Good. My father went. And why did you do my father went and not he went? Because my father is the what? My father is the doer. It's the doer. Because why? It's right after dhahaba. Dhahaba is the action, then we put the doer. My father went. Ila Sudani. And yeah, you guys figured it out. Ila Sudani is to Sudan, the country. So, and you guys will figure out that the earth is there, the little world symbol is there because that's one of the countries. So it's really good to you know, keep an eye out for these countries because they're not just the same in English. So it's a little bit different in Arabic. So keep in mind that this is how Sudan is spelt in Arabic. So ila Sudan. So inshallah we'll learn a lot of the countries from this. Dhahaba bi ila Sudani. My father went to Sudan. And dhahaba is the verb. Dhahaba is the word and the bi is the action. So let's look at the next one. وَذَهَبَ أَخِي إِلَى الْعِرَاقِ. وَذَهَبَ أَخِي إِلَى الْعِرَاقِ. Same thing, right? It's the same sort of structure. Wa is and then the rest is the same. My brother, good. My brother went. This time, where did he go? It's not Sudan. It's what country? Ilal Iraqi. You guys can guess what that means. To Iraq. Good. So that's another country that you guys can add. وَذَهَبَ أَخِي إِلَى الْعِرَاقِ. What's the big thing in this? What's the doer? The doer is Akhi. Good. Akhi is the doer. And remember, there's that pronoun at the end. There's that attached pronoun that's replacing yourself. He, whose brother is it? It's my brother. So وَذَهَبَ أَخِي, my brother went. Same thing as ذَهَبَ أَبِي. So that's very, very easy, right? The next one, also same thing that's going on. The only difference, and you guys can tell from the first word, ذَهَبَت. What's the only difference between 1 and 2? The big difference is female. Good. So you guys could tell that just with the first word, ذَهَبَت. So keep that in mind when you do number 2. I want you guys to circle all the verbs and write who the doer is. Okay, so let's look at number 4. All of these questions are very, very similar. So let's look at the 4th one. Man dhahaba ilal mal'ab al-yawma? Man dhahaba ilal mal'ab al-yawma? It's a question, right? It's a man question. Man is the who questions. Man dhahaba. Who went. Good. MashaAllah, you guys got this. This is the first man question I think we've done with verbs. Man dhahaba ilal mal'abi. Who went to the playground? Al-yawma, today. You guys know this. Man dhahaba ilal mal'ab al-yawma. Okay. What do you already know about man? Who is this man? Who is this person that's going to the playground? What do you know about them so far? You don't really know who they are. That's why you're asking the question. But you know that they are male. Good. You know they're male. Why do you know they're male? You know because dhahaba. Good. Dhahaba. Why do we know from dhahaba? What's about dhahaba that's telling you it's male? It's the hidden pronoun. What's the hidden pronoun? In dhahaba, it's huwa. Good. Huwa is the male one. So we don't know who this person is. We know that they're male so far. We're just guessing, man dhahaba ilal mal'ab al-yawma? It's a handful, right? It's a long sentence. Who went to the playground today? And let's see what our answer is. And let's see if our answer is going to be just what we thought. Is it going to be a male? Our answer is dhahaba akhi Abbasun. Dhahaba akhi Abbasun. Our answer is, what does this mean? This is slightly different than what we've been used to reading. But it means, Dhahaba akhi Abbasan, my brother Abbas went. So he was the one. I'm going to write that. He went. Remember, I'm just writing he because this is the who I implied. It's understood. My brother Abbas. So my brother Abbas, he was the one who went to the playground today. So we were right. Abbas is the male. That's why we have dhahaba. That's why we have our hidden pronoun huwa inside. We don't have a hiya. So that would be weird, right? Dhahaba akhi Abbasan, he went to the playground. That's what we're saying. Okay, let's look at the last one because the last one is female and I want to get a female one done in here. It's a long one too. That's why I chose this one. Our last one is Mata dhahabti ila tabibati ya Zainab? Mata dhahabti ila tabibati ya Zainab? Our question is a mata question. It's a when question. So mata dhahabti ila tabibati ya Zainab? Similar to what we've been doing before. I think this is like the exact same question. When did you go to the doctor, O Zainab? So, O Zainab, I'm going to circle her. Why am I going to circle her? Where else does she come in the sentence? Where else am I referring to her? What else should I circle? I'm referring to her in the you went. What else should I circle? What pronoun should I circle in this question that's replacing Zainab? So Zainab is not only at the end, she's not only our munada, she's also our doer. Good. She's also our doer. She's in that the. She's that attached pronoun the. So you go. When did you go to the doctor, O Zainab? Her answer is ذهبت أمسي. ذهبت أمسي. Good. Finally, I think this is the first time we've seen ذهبت. And what's in ذهبت? ذهبت is I went. Good. It's I went. And this time, even though it's Zainab talking, we can still use I. We can still use ذهبت. What should I circle? I'm going to circle the tu pronoun, right? I'm going to circle this tu. Why? Because I attached it at the end because I wanted to say that this was me. I'm doing the action. I'm the doer. So I attached it tu. I went yesterday. Good. You guys know this. It's a very simple sentence. I went yesterday. وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ. Okay, this one is the tricky part. Let's see. What do you guys think this means? وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ.
Secondly, उसको Gmail को चाहिए होगा. उसको कहा तो है.
She's just adding on. She's saying وَمَا and I didn't go. Good. I didn't go. Today. Okay. That's it for this.
नहीं वो उसको ऐड करना होगा हमें तो उसको को मुझे भेजे वो ईमेल अपनी.
That's it for this exercise. وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ. And I didn't go today. So she yesterday, but she didn't go today. What's different about this sentence? Why did I say that this was tricky? Because maybe some of you guys were confused. This ma, right? What does this ma do again? Just a reminder, this is something new that we learned in the lesson. What is this ma? It means did not. Good. It means did not. And whenever I put it before this verb, I'm not using it as a question. I'm using it as did not. Okay. Should I repeat the last? Okay. Okay, let's do number 6 now. So number 6 is different because it's a female one again. So I want you guys to keep that in mind when we do this one. So let's read the question. متى ذهبت إلى الطبيبة يا زينب؟ متى ذهبت إلى الطبيبة يا زينب? This one is, who is our munada this time? Who are we talking to? We're talking to Zainab. Good. We're talking to Zainab. She's our munada this time. And you guys know what this means, right? متى ذهبت إلى الطبيبة? It's the same question. We've been doing this question so many times. This should be the first question that comes to mind whenever you think of something. متى ذهبت إلى الطبيبة? Mata is the when question again. Mata is those when questions, the timing questions. When did you go to the doctor, O Zainab? Okay, so I underlined Zainab. Zainab is our munada. Where else is she in the sentence? Can you guys figure it out? Where else is she in the sentence? Tell me what pronoun she's hidden inside, or where is she being replaced? She is in the D. Good. She's in the D. She's in this pronoun over here that we attached. Dhahabti. She's right there. She's that you. So she is the person that replaces that pronoun ti. Dhahabti. Anti. She's that you. Ila tabibati ya Zainab. So that's the doer. She is the doer of this verb. She's the doer. Okay. Simple question. When did you go to the doctor, O Zainab? She answers, Dhahabtu amsi. She answered, Dhahabtu amsi. Okay. This one's different. Dhahabtu amsi. Good. I went yesterday. Good. Amsi is that timing word. It's replying to the mata, when. She went yesterday. Okay. So dhahabtu is I went. What's our doer in dhahabtu? Our doer is, tell me in Arabic. It's ana. It's yourself. Good. It's ana, yourself. And how do we know that? What's the pronoun that we see? It's the tu. Good. So this tu is that attached pronoun that's telling us it's I went. It's ana who's doing the action. I'm doing that going. So I went yesterday. Dhahabtu amsi. And what is the ana replacing? Who is the ana replacing? The ana is replacing Zainab. Good. So Zainab is the one talking. She's the I. So dhahabtu amsi, I went yesterday. But then she adds something else. What's her next sentence? وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ. This one's tricky, so think about what this one means. Tell me as much as you can figure out, but I think you guys know this, right? Exactly. وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ, it's, and I didn't go today. Good. I did not go today. I did not. Okay. So وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ. You guys understand ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ, I went today, but look at that ma. This is a reminder, because ma is a new word. What is the ma doing over there? It doesn't mean what this time. It's not a question this time, right? She's just saying وَمَا ذَهَبْتُ الْيَوْمَ. So what is it doing? What does it mean? It means did not. It's saying that your verb is negative. No, I didn't do this. So you're not saying that, yes, I did something. You're telling the opposite. You're saying the negative. You're saying I did not. So keep that in mind. This ma is very, very important because there's lots of different meanings that we know, and we already know them what meaning, and we can see that it doesn't mean what anymore. It doesn't always mean what. So it means did not. Okay. So the rest of the sentences that I left, 2, 3, and 5, those ones you guys can do yourself. They're very, very easy. You guys can even figure out the slightly new word. If not, it's this one right here. Say it a couple times. Al-Kuwaiti is a country. You guys know what it is. So 2, 3, and 5 are your homework. Do exactly what we've been doing before. Circle the pronouns and circle the verbs and write the doers. So who are those doers? Try to figure out exactly who those are. But for homework, I want you guys to circle exercise 3. It's really short. There is just 6 sentences. And what you have to do for this one, you guys have done this before, correct the sentences. And I was reading through this. This one is difficult. So keep in mind who your doers are. That's the big thing. What is the verb? And make sure everything matches. Remember that whole matching rule that we've been doing. Matching with gender, right? Make sure that that's the big thing that you have to make sure. So that's for homework. You guys can inshallah do it yourself. Write out the corrected sentence. And it'll be good practice just to get used to all those verbs. So many different verbs. Okay. That's it for this week, and inshallah we'll conclude. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.